My name is Karen Fabian and I'm the founder of Bare Bones Yoga, and today I'm going to go over with you how to do triangle pose. Triangle pose is a really great posture when it comes to strengthening the legs and opening up the front line of the body. And what I mean by the front line is a lot of the musculature that lies especially on the front of the chest that gets pretty compressed and contracted when we sit at our desk all day, can find a great opposing movement in lengthening and stretching to a certain extent when we do a posture like triangle. Even if you were to just stand like this and take your arms out wide, you'd feel the resulting stretch through the front line of the body. So you could think pectoral muscles in particular. And that, of course, is counter to how we hold our bodies a lot most of the day when we're looking down at our phone, carrying heavy bags, hunching over our computer. So it's really great from that point of view. So to come into triangle pose, one of the qualities of this posture is we kind of build it from the ground up, it has a pretty narrow foundation. So we wouldn't really want to have the feet hip width apart. We want to have the heels more aligned. Now, in terms of the distance, right, the length of the pose, you can really decide. I generally say that shorter bases are steadier and wider bases are not. So if I go really super long, you can see how I start to get to my end range and I might even lock out or hyperextend my front knee. So I really don't want people to do that. I'd rather you come into something that really allows you to be steady, because your legs are going to get strong, especially when you think about the quadriceps muscle on the thigh, which is responsible for extension, knee extension. So in this pose, both legs are straight. So it's a great quad strengthener. And we really want to be pressing down into the ground. If I don't have any action, you can kind of see how the pose loses its integrity in terms of the legs alone. So if I really start to press into the ground, I can get that. Now I'm going to take the arms wide and I'm going to start to tip down. Now as I start to tip down, well, let me do it without the block. What oftentimes happens in class is students will start to fall forward. And you can see right out of the gate there, I'm getting in the way of one of the major benefits of the pose that I just shared with you, which is opening the front of the body. It's kind of hard to do that if you're facing the ground. So I want to keep that nice wide stance posture through the upper body. So I might not go so low. But if I don't use a prop like a block, I'm really just kind of hanging out there in space, or maybe I'm just leaning into my leg. So blocks are great. They give you leverage and they give you height. And the leverage we can use to push off the block, and the height we can use to open the shoulders. And when I say open, the anatomical term is external rotation. You can see the shoulder is a ball and socket, so I can turn it out, externally rotate it, or I can turn it in, internally rotate it. I can do other things with it, but just for now, let's talk about that. So here, I actually want both shoulders to be externally rotated. If I don't have the block, you can see how it's really easy for both shoulders to turn in. So I've got the block, got my heels aligned, I'm pushing off the block, I'm not collapsing into it, reaching up. Now, it does have an aspect of rotation to it. So I'm really turning through the rib cage here, right, through the oblique area. Probably heard of the obliques, this twisting muscle in the side body. So I want to get a little bit of that happening. And the last thing to just think about is what's happening with the head. Many times the head drops because people just aren't really thinking about that part of the pose. And we're used to kind of having a lot of head drop from looking down at the phones. So it's really helpful to support the weight of the head with the muscles of the neck. So if you find that the head's drooping, lift it a little bit. Okay? We'll do it on the other side, just to kind of round things out. And again, you can modify the distance between your feet. I would say that's, in general, one of the best modifications. Don't make it so long. And maybe you don't have as many blocks. That's another thing you can play with. Variations you can try is you can wrap this top arm. Okay? And another variation you can try, which is a little more challenging and really depends on the strength of the legs, is you can reach the arms out to the side. Right? So those are just some other shapes that you can add into the pose to just be a little creative with it. So that's triangle pose. Really good posture for leg strength, opening the front line of the body. And if you have questions about yoga or yoga anatomy, which is my specialty, please visit my website, barebonesyoga.com. And on there, you will see free downloads. If you go to my online class page, you can download full practice videos for just $10 a piece. That's on the online class page. On the home page itself is a download for yoga teachers on how to build yoga sequences. As well, on the home page is a download on yoga anatomy. There are also free webinars and my books and my online courses. So what I would say is visit the website, barebonesyoga.com, and the first thing I would do is grab a free download off the home page. Then the second thing I would do is go to the online class page and pick up one of my online classes. And in each class I have tons of yoga, of anatomically based cues, much more than you would get in a typical yoga class. So if you're interested in yoga anatomy, that'll really kind of hit the nail on the head for you. So thank you so much for watching. Again, this is Karen Fabian with Bare Bones Yoga. My website is barebonesyoga.com. Thanks so much for watching, and namaste.